Welcome back, everyone, to Drunk Bible Study Bonus Edition. This is for Jeremiah 4-5 and Psalms 31-32. Am I right on that?
Yeah.
31-32? Yeah,
crushed it.
I did it. Wow. Didn't even have to look at that. Wow. Yeah, Jeremiah continued to bullfrog out, and I had to look up things about bullfrogs because I didn't really know, like, in my mind. Yeah.
I was just wondering, is this just going to be weeks and weeks of bullfrog facts whenever we're done reading Jeremiah?
I think what I found today was it's pretty all encompassing, honestly. We don't need to like continue to look at these bullfrogs necessarily, unless we're just like very moved by them.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I looked up bullfrogs, and to my sadness, they don't wing out in the face. I had this idea.
Now, what did you mean by that? Yeah.
Yeah, the Dilophosaurus in Jurassic Park, like it would just create a larger kind of bill of a facial region, and it would create like a giant face.
Do you mean like bullfrogs, like when their like cheeks puffing out or their throat puffing out?
Sure, I don't know. I didn't know if in a moment they would decide to become larger in the fascicular region, you know? But it turns out they don't.
Well, what did you find?
They don't. I mean, they're just, they kind of like exist as they are. And something that I found was that they are terrifying hunters. Terrifying. Like, that tongue can do things. Truly amazing. I found a YouTube video, and I want to play it for you all because it's fairly short. Yeah, it talks all about their killing capabilities. Wow. I'm vegan, but I'm all right with these animals performing as they would in the wild. By all means, like, it's fascinating. So here we go. Let's see.
Okay,
what happens.
This is from National Geographic. It looks like there's a little excerpt from something of theirs. Who knows what?
Yeah. Whoa, this bullfrog is like flipping.
Frogs aren't just selective eaters, feasting only on flies.
No.
What do they eat? Tell us.
Everything.
Take the bullfrog, for example.
Whoa.
Okay,
there's
spiders.
Giant tarantulas.
That's a tarantula.
Scorpions.
Cool.
Scorpions. Like, they're in Arizona. Snakes?
Snakes? A bullfrog will eat a snake.
Fish?
Passes in front of them.
Wow.
But how do they
that looks like a rat in its
eating
face.
Yeah, how do they do it? Does their tongue have daggers on it?
Bullfrogs don't have big claws, sharp beaks, or fangs.
Just little innocuous creatures.
Yet they overcome pinchers, poisons, and spicy stingers.
Whoa.
Spicy stingers.
Spicy is an interesting choice of words.
With a mouth as big as the great outdoors.
It's huge. Dang, he is murdering that scorpion. Wow.
Ready to swallow just about anything.
I mean,
so it's just purely the size of their mouth?
They've been known to swim 20 feet to shore.
I want bullfrogs to hang around my house and kill spiders and...
20 feet, grab
Whoa.
the milk, turn around and hop back into the pond.
I see it's the amphibious assault tactic.
It's really cool.
They've even been known to stalk birds like a lion on the prowl.
Birds? No, surely not. We are not going to watch this bullfrog eating a bird.
He's jumping in the air in slow motion.
Oh my gosh.
Beak
wow.
and all.
A bird?
And they don't stop at their feathered friends. They'll even eat each other.
What?
Oh,
Ew.
no.
Dark. This got dark.
A small bullfrog that doesn't watch its step can easily become food for a bigger frog.
Jeez.
They are quite cannibalistic. A young bullfrog must quickly learn one simple froggy fact. Eat whatever it wants, just don't end up on someone else's
I
menu.
can't believe we're sitting here watching a bullfrog eat another bullfrog.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. That really...
Wow.
Jeez, so Jeremiah is like a cold-blooded killer is what you're trying to say, Emily.
No, totally. That's the thing. Like, I really respect Jeremiah in a way that I didn't before.
Knowing now
I'm
that
saying.
he
Like,
will eat other prophets if he needs to.
yeah, I mean, I feel like he's a big bullfrog because it was talking about the fact that like smaller bullfrogs gotta watch out
Yeah.
So,
who knows how many lesser prophets Jeremiah has consumed on his way, on his path to
and that's
today.
what I'm talking about, the hierarchy, Dedeker. Thank you. Like lesser, you literally said it, lesser prophet, because he's a higher prophet, and so therefore he can eat the lower prophets.
It makes me wonder if it might be a little bit like in the Highlander universe, where when a bullfrog prophet eats another prophet, they then gain some of their prophecy powers.
Oh,
and
Cool. Yeah.
That's how
Like
the great
Dark
prophets
Souls.
became great, was by eating other prophets and getting their powers.
Bullfrog world out there, you know?
Yeah,
literally.
it's true.
Literally,
Yeah.
that is true. That's a true fact that you just said.
That's true. Amazing. Wow.
So-
I learned a lot today.
So I also tried to learn a little bit about the personal lives of prophets, because you had so many questions about it, Emily.
I
and
did.
I wanted to try to answer them.
Thank you.
First thing I found, I think we'll get to this later, but Jeremiah is known as the weeping prophet.
Oh,
So
That makes sense.
we might
Why?
have some waterworks in our future. I'm not sure.
Oh,
Wow.
It didn't say,
geez.
and I didn't want spoilers. So we might get to that later.
Oh.
wow.
But we will indeed get more insights into his personal life, as well as like some drama's going to go down in his life later on.
Whoa.
We're going to get that in the second half of Jeremiah.
Okay.
The first half's kind of more focused on his prophecies. And then the second half, we get a little more into his life and some of the trials and tribulations of his life, as told by potentially his scribe, Baruch.
Baruch.
Wow.
But then,
Okay.
Emily, in answer to your question of like, did the prophets live with everyone? Were they separate?
Yeah.
You know, what was the deal? So, first of all, there's a gazillion prophets. And people argue a little bit over who technically counts as a prophet or not.
Okay.
But I did find, some lists that people had of all of the different prophet type people in the Bible. And one distinction is that we have kind of our major and minor prophets, which are the ones who have their own books. Right? So that's like the ones we're reading, like Isaiah
hierarchy
and Jeremiah.
again.
Okay, yes, I will
Y'all
say.
are yelling at me for this shit, but all I'm saying is like it occurs.
Yes,
okay?
we have retroactively instated a hierarchy upon them, because in Judaism and in Christianity, there's like the major prophets and the minor prophets. But there's also a lot of other characters who are considered prophets, but who like that wasn't their only thing.
Mm-hmm.
They did other stuff. For example, I looked up some of these people, and I want to tell you some people who you know personally, intimately from this show,
Really?
who were prophets, just to show the range of how they lived. One of the first of those is Job. Job is counted
Job is
amongst
a prophet?
the prophets. Is Job amongst the prophets?
What?
Yes.
What?
He's one of the ones that's counted as that. Aaron, from back in, Moses' day.
Yeah.
Also Moses.
Okay.
Both of them were considered prophets.
Yeah.
Lived a very different life from that of Elisha and Elijah, who were on the run for a lot of their time, having to, combat the prophets of Baal. There were also prophets of other gods, like the prophets of Baal.
Yeah.
Let's see. Abraham was a prophet. Jacob, of Jacob and Sons fame.
Jacob?
Counts as a prophet.
Okay.
There's so many people like Ahijah. I don't know if you remember him from back in First Kings.
I recall the name. Yeah.
Azariah, Asaph. Like there's so many, and we're going to get so many more. But just, there's a lot. Everything from people who were in hiding most of their lives to people who were the freaking leader of their people conquering other lands.
Wow.
So it just really runs the gamut.
So we can't quite paint with a broad brush and assume that if you're labeled as a prophet, that means a particular status in society.
Right.
Like you could be running for the hills like anyone else.
Or you could be running for president.
That's good. Yeah. Running for the hills or running for president. That's the range. Well, because, if you think about it, part of the deal with the prophets we're reading now is that they're prophesying during a time when they're like, everyone's turned away from Yahweh. It's terrible. We're going to get punished so horribly because of it. Ah, and I'm sure everyone was like, get out of here. We're having fun at the sex and religion shrines.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Versus other times, like during, Moses' time, it's like he was a prophet. God was speaking to him. Clearly, in his bathrobe, he would come out and say things to him.
Yeah.
But he was also the one who was able to unite his people and free them from slavery in Egypt. So, it really depends on what was going on with what was popular, what was hot at the time. Was being a prophet
so hot right now.
of God hot at that time or not?
Yeah.
That's what I got for you about that.
So Jeremiah, hot or not,
Amazing.
we'll find the answer at the end of the book, I suppose.
Indeed.
Yes.
Was he a 2? Was he a 6? Was he a 10?
Wow.
We'll never know.
Wow.
We'll never, or will we?
I mean, we'll have to make that distinction.
Yeah.
Maybe we should be ranking each of these people by the end of their books. I don't know.
see.
By what their
maybe that's
perceived
terrible.
hotness based on what happened in the book.
Yeah. Maybe that's terrible. Maybe that's terrible.
But we could start rating books. It's like I give this book
yeah.
a 6 out of 10. Although I'd say our rubric will probably improve as we have more context for each of the books.
That's true.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Maybe we have to wait, and then once we're done with the whole Bible, we can go back and rate all the books.
Yeah.
Have like the DBS top 10 list.
Right.
I love it. Wow.
Well, I
love
want to
it.
talk to y'all about hiding places, little hidey holes,
Okay.
Hidey holes.
Yeah. So in our last batch of Psalms that we read, there was this verse about Yahweh being a hiding place, filling my heart with songs of deliverance and stuff like that. And it instantly brought me back to one of my most hated Christian hymns
Oh, no.
ever
Oh.
around. Yes. So this is a song called You're My Hiding Place. And I looked up a little bit of the history. I have a little bit of my own commentary on it, but I want to play it for you first. It's very short. It's just kind of one refrain that repeats. And so I'm going to have
one of those
it's just one of
worship songs.
those.
It's just
Exactly.
over
One of
and
those
over
worship
again.
songs. So why don't you mash play?
Okay. Wow.
Yikes.
Wow.
Okay, that's enough. We can stop. Let's
And that
stop.
just
Cut
repeats
it.
over and
Cut
over
it.
again?
Just repeats
Yeah,
over
we
again.
don't need
Oh,
it.
God.
We're
Okay.
done. We're done.
Oh my goodness. Okay, first note.
You are my hiding place.
First note.
Sounds like Phantom of the
and-
Opera a little bit.
Okay, yes. Now that you're not the first one to comment on that, and there's actually some
Oh, really?
debate
Okay.
going down in some forums on the internet. This song was written in 1980. 1980.
Okay.
Phantom of the Opera was written in 86. Technically, this
Got
song
it.
came first, but a lot of people are commenting on the
Andrew.
fact that it sounds a lot like Phantom of the Opera.
I mean,
Andrew, what have you done?
I
you
know.
know, he's known to plagiarize a ton.
So it's not outside of the realm of possibility.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So the first note is just a tiny rant that I want to go on, and Eddie Izzard, the comedian, did comment on this, that when we look at Christian music, if you look at something like, let's say, traditional Black gospel, right?
Okay.
Like out of years and centuries of oppression and murder and just horrible, horrible, horrible things, there's just like really wonderful, vibrant, joyful, catchy music. Like gospel music is fantastic. And then us white people, the white Christians who've had all the power, all the influence, all the money for centuries and centuries come up with this shit. And this is not the only song that falls into that category of
there's lots of bad ones out
like,
there.
even though, again,
Yeah.
all the money, all the influence, all the power, and all we can come up with is like, it's like that's what we can do for worship. And this song,
Sure.
You're My Hiding Place, is top of the list for me, and thinking of just like awful
Yeah.
white evangelical Christian worship songs.
Mhm.
So I looked into it. It was written by this guy, Michael Ledner, when he like separated from his wife. That's the most that I can find.
Of course.
Oh, great.
Of course.
Cool.
Surprising absolutely no one.
Uh-huh.
Oh, gosh.
He's
He's like, I want a song so that everyone else can feel as miserable as I do right now.
Exactly.
Wow.
Now, I also associate this particular hymn with the book/film, The Hiding Place. I don't know if you're familiar with that by any means.
No.
Or the one with John Krasinski and
Definitely not.
Emily Blunt?
100% not.
Oh,
No, so The Hiding Place was
Okay.
the biography of Corrie ten Boom. I had to read it in school, in Christian school, because Corrie ten Boom was a woman where she and her family hid Jews during the Holocaust. And so the book was all about her life. And the subsequent film adaptation of the book, of course, had this song as like its main theme as
Really?
well. Yes.
Like this
I'm
actual
thinking
song.
of
This
a
actual
quiet
song.
place, not a hiding
you're
place.
thinking of the wrong
Sorry.
one.
Okay.
Now, to be fair, I'm like, for a
Whoops.
Holocaust movie, I get this kind of dreary, sad song. Like, sure, why not?
Thing. Yeah.
Was the version they used at least better than the one that we just listened to?
Probably, because I think in the film version, they didn't necessarily have any lyrics. It was just like the refrain,
Just like- I see.
that was like the
Okay.
theme for the soundtrack.
Okay.
But it is interesting. So Corrie ten Boom's story is interesting because they were a very, very Christian family, but still wanted to do everything they could to protect the Jews or their Jewish friends from the Nazis.
Uh-huh.
Looking
Yeah.
back on it now, though, I think it is interesting because, like, in my school, in my Christian school, we didn't read Anne Frank like most elementary school / middle school kids do. We did not read Anne Frank. This is the book that we read. That was like our Holocaust, biography book.
Wow.
And
Okay.
I think it is interesting to look back on, like, we're not going to read the Jews story. We're going to read the Christian
read a story about
perspective on the Jews
Christians.
story.
Yeah. Right.
Not to
Right.
minimize anything that Corrie ten Boom or her family did, because they did amazing things and they also suffered incredibly at the hands of the Nazis and were thrown into concentration camps and stuff like that. But I do think it is interesting to see that of, no, we want to go the Christian touch point, not the Jewish touch point.
Right.
Yeah.
The Christian
We
one
have
is
to make
more
sure
important.
that the heroes of this story are still Christians.
Exactly.
It's like
Yeah.
that kind of
Fascinating.
thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Anyway, that's what I can tell you about The Hiding
Yikes.
Place.
Wow.
Wow.
What a journey we've been on.
Indeed. My goodness.
Emily, so many songs
Amazing
like
as
that.
always.
So many worship songs like that.
Oh, yeah.
I have not been privy to them really in my life. I haven't seen them. I haven't listened to them. And I'm all right with that, honestly. Like, I don't need... the ones that I remember are from musicals generally, like Jesus Christ Superstar and that other one.
Yeah.
What's the other
Godspell.
one, Jace? That's the one. Yeah.
Or
Godspell.
Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
That one too, Jacob. And I think that's all that I need in my life, really, quite frankly. So
Yeah.
it's all right. I mean, if y'all have been privy to the others, by all means, enjoy them, embrace them if you want, or don't. That's fine too.
You will end up hearing some more by the time we're done with this
Oh,
book.
most definitely.
I know that.
There's
I know.
no escaping it.
I know. It's fine. Yeah, I'm learning. I'm embracing, but also like taking the things that I like and letting go the things that I don't.
Beautiful.
I think
Good.
that's important
Yeah.
for all
Love
of us.
Great.
Love that.
Yeah. We hope that you do the same as well and that you join us next week for Drunk Bible Study. See y'all soon.